which still kind of sounds like pineapple. So today I'll be talking about skateboarding, and why is skateboarding interesting? We know very well that we can support sports with interactive technology. We have running apps that help jog longer or better. We have baseball gloves outfitted with sensors that measure the speed of approaching balls. But if we look at sports such as these, which are all about the experience of doing tricks, we actually know very little about how to design interactive technology to support their experience. So, taking skateboarding as an example of one of these sports, we set out to start generating knowledge on how to design interactive technology to support the experience of doing skateboarding tricks. And we decided to do so by doing a whole range of quick and dirty prototypes of feedback systems for skateboarders that we designed. And we evaluated these using autoethnography, which means that we ourselves skated with these systems and reflected on our experiences. Why autoethnography? Well, autoethnography allows for very rapid design iterations, which in fact allowed us in a very short time to do 12 very distinct prototypes, so we could explore a range of feedback forms and modalities. And it also allows for a good understanding of bodily experiences, since I, as the designer, am going through the experience and can really take notice of how the details of my emotions affect and shape my experience. Now, some of the examples of systems we did, here you see the motions of my board represented as a projected single line, so an abstracted visualization. Video recordings of my skateboarding projected and replayed right after my attempts. Enhanced audio recordings that are replayed right after my tricks. Or even jolting strings attached to the skater to see if we could sort of help relive the physical intensity of trick attempts. Now, we were able to derive 4 design themes for skateboarding, all of which are important and interesting, but I'll present 2 as examples of these. Now, the first one I'd like to present is what aspects of a trick are emphasized by feedback that you present to the athlete. Now, I noticed that when I did a trick, and I'll do a really simple trick down here. If you want to see it, forgive me if I screw it up because I didn't get to warm up. So.
Woo!
Now, I noticed when I was skating with these systems that, for example, if I was presented with a still image of the trick, it emphasized whether my feet were on the board neatly, as they were supposed to be, which I didn't really take too much, didn't really care too much about. If I listened to enhanced audio recordings of a trick, it emphasized the intensity and the timing of the takeoff and landing, which is interesting but not essential. If I look, for example, at a abstracted visualization, just showing the movements of my board as a line, that really emphasized the smoothness of the trick, which me personally I really care about in my tricks. So that meant more to me than the other ones, and it was actually able to support the sense of pride over tricks. Now, the second theme I want to talk about quickly is timing of feedback in relation to sort of peaks in emotions right after my attempts. So I noticed when I was doing tricks, run up to a trick, execute the trick, land the trick, that there's actually quite a small window where I feel strong emotions about this trick attempt. So right after the trick I felt achievement or pride or maybe frustration if I didn't land it. Now, sometimes this was a bit longer, sometimes a bit shorter, and I noticed if, for example, I was presented with video recordings of my trick and they were presented only slightly too late, I had already in my mind moved on to the next trick, to the next attempt, so I didn't really care anymore. If it was presented too early, I was still engaged in actually executing the trick, so I couldn't pay attention to them. So depending on what feedback form you choose, there's definitely a sweet spot of when and for how long you present feedback. So timing is important to consider. Now, since the note, we've extended our work by designing and building a more elaborate system for skateboarders, and I'll show you a quick video as an impression of this work. Interactive technology has often been used to support sports, but mostly focusing on athletic performance. We wondered, what about extreme sports, such as skateboarding, which mainly focus on the experience of doing tricks rather than on athletic performance? We know very little about how interactive technology might be able to enhance the experience of doing tricks in skateboarding. Our response to this research opportunity is Copy-Paste Skate. Copy-Paste Skate is an interactive system that aims to support the experience of doing tricks in skateboarding by offering captivating and novel ways of reliving and reflecting on these tricks. The system captures movements of the board in life-size visualizations and then also complements these with slowed-down audio recordings of the trick. To achieve a richer sensory experience, the entire floor vibrates in the rhythm of the board's movements across it.
Brings the trick to life, you know.
Right.
I think that's what the vibration of the sound does.
It was kind of like thinking of what would be the craziest trick to make a weird line.
Yeah.
It was fun.
We've seen how the system can spark playful and creative exploration of new, unconventional tricks. But it can also heighten the sense of achievement over field tricks or simple tricks that are otherwise considered mundane.
Skateboarding is an artistic form, and it's adding another variable to that, like showing skateboarding in a different light. I mean, literally.
Alright, so the take-home message today is really trick-focused sports are plentiful, and we've seen that really simple technologies can start to support these. So let interaction designers embrace the opportunity to explore what interactive technology can mean for these sports. Also, do come to Interactivity. We're there with the system you just saw to see it in action. Thank you.